This is the Gospel of Mark in 3 minutes. Let's go. Hey guys, Brian here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about the Gospel of Mark. Now the Gospel of Mark is the shortest of all the canonical Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. It's 16 action-packed chapters with the key word immediately. When you read the Gospel of Mark, you see he uses that word all the time. As a matter of fact, he immediately jumps into the ministry of Jesus. He doesn't tell us about the birth of Jesus. He starts with Jesus being baptized by John in the Jordan, and then Jesus leaves and goes into ministry in the northern part of Israel, primarily in the area referred to as Galilee, in a city called Capernaum. Now, while Jesus is in the northern part of Israel, he branches out occasionally to some Gentile areas where he does some miracles and he helps some people. Eventually, in Mark chapter 8, Jesus goes to a place called Caesarea Philippi, where he has this great moment with his disciples where he asks them, "Who do you say that I am?" And ultimately, Peter the apostle says that you are the Christ, the Son of God. And it's from there in chapter 8 that Jesus heads toward Jerusalem. And the second half of the book records Jesus making his way to Jerusalem, where he will be arrested, betrayed, and crucified. And he will rise again on the third day. Now, the Gospel of Mark was probably the first gospel written in the 50s, probably the mid to late 50s. And it was written by a guy that's referred to as John Mark. You can read about him on Paul the Apostle's first missionary journey in the book of Acts. Mark eventually makes his way to Rome, where he becomes a disciple of Peter, the apostle of Jesus. And before Peter's death, Mark writes down the recollections that Peter has and the sermons that Peter gives about his life following Jesus. And that becomes what we have as the Gospel of Mark. In Mark's Gospel, we see that he shows three unique things about Jesus. First, he shows that Jesus is the authoritative Son of God. Everywhere Jesus goes, he simply speaks words of healing, and he casts out demons, and he brings redemption and hope to people. He's the authoritative Son of God. The second thing that we see about Jesus is that Jesus is the suffering servant of God. Everywhere Jesus goes in the Gospel of Mark, he's serving humanity. As a matter of fact, he even says in this one key verse that he, the Son of Man, didn't come to be served, but rather to serve and to give his life as a ransom for many. And the third thing that we see about Jesus in the Gospel of Mark is that Jesus is the sacrificial Savior of Israel and ultimately the world. And that's the Gospel of Mark in 3 minutes. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up and let me know that you enjoyed it and you got some good content out of this. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, I'd love to have you on. I'm Brian. As always, we'll see you next time, guys. Bye.